we're starting filming. That's it. The documentary is going ahead.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
Plug it.
Well, no, it'll be done in a few months.
That is JC Gilbert of Newmarket. Still the thing. EMS supervisor.
Oh, is he? EMS, that we call it?
EMS.
Oh, right. He's just a PMS guy. He's bringing him in once a month.
Turn the mic on.
Yeah. I've got to stand in the middle here.
Sorry, Doug. So you want me either side of it? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. What's your title with Quebec? Assistant High Performance Consultant. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's program?
Yeah.
Okay. Newfoundland in purple. Alberta, under 16. 11. Right. And here's my other player to watch. And well, welcome back here to Calgary Rugby Park for the Rugby Canada National Festival. Here on day one, we're into our fourth game of the session, and it's been a great start. Lots of young athletes around and a good atmosphere here. We've got a repeat of the game you might have just been watching, but a different age group. This is Alberta and Newfoundland, an under 16 age group. So a good test for both teams, and we're looking forward to it. Alberta will be playing in the maroon and black jerseys, playing from left to right, and Alberta will be, I believe, in their traditional black jerseys. Of course, the Alberta team are at home. You'll see them coming out of the tunnel. There's their compatriots, the older boys clapping on the field. Lots of camaraderie between the provincial teams around here and between the teams as well. So as we wait for that team to get on the field, a little bit of a preview. Newfoundland obviously traveling the furthest to be here. A couple of names to watch. Sam Kaler, the big prop. There's potential for him up front, maybe to follow in the path of old Rod Snow. And also at number 10, key to Newfoundland's efforts today will be Quentin Lovato. Although Ontario-based, he's representing Newfoundland here. And as the referee today urges the field to come on, there is Newfoundland with their cheer. They will bring passion to this, as you'd expect. And speaking of passion, I'm joined by my longtime friend and former team member of Wasp Rugby Club in London, the Frenchman, Florent Rosenier, who's now the high-performance coach with Quebec. Welcome, Florent. Well, there it is, and there is Alberta coming onto the field, looking like the All Blacks. Will they play like the All Blacks? We'll find out. Joined by our crew here, Doug Cross on camera, so any complaints, please send them to him, dougcross@rugbycanada.ca. Newfoundland will be kicking off with the diminutive scrum half, that's Zach Pilgrim. And He's a shifty little guy at the base. He has a big pack in front of him to look after him. A few names to watch for Newfoundland. We're looking in the backs at Donovan Sladek, Noah McDonough at center, and the fullback, Elliot Johnson, see if they can get their hands on any ball and get any runs. And here we go, the kickoff for Alberta versus Newfoundland here at the National Festival, under 16 boys. Good early take from the flanker, that's Josh Blanks. Sorry, wrong side. James O'Neill with a good run. Good ball carrying here from the Alberta. The ball's poached up the side, comes the Newfoundland player. Referee says play on. And in fact, a penalty against Alberta in the end for falling off the field. Good steal there, Flo.
Yeah, great steal. That was totally legal and front by the Newfoundland player. Totally on his feet, handled the ball, managed to put his weight behind the ball and pick it up. But after that, I think one of the Alberta player came sideways and tried to steal it.
So that is a penalty awarded by our referee today, Jason Gilbert, a man who's used to the action. He works in the ambulance service as an EMS supervisor, so good to have him out in the middle, and so important for these young athletes to have good referees. Line out, first line out, he's just settling them down, making sure there's a nice gap in that line out there, a meter gap, and it will be Newfoundland throw-in.
Newfoundland in a very deep position, probably looking to put that ball wide. They couldn't control it. There was a knock-on there, and that'll be a ball for Alberta introduction.
It was Aidan Brown at the front of the line out, another Ontario player who's come in, took possession, but the referee deeming there's an issue. Excuse me. It will be a scrum down, and it will be Alberta ball. So good test early on to see what their tactics are. Will they be looking to clear their lines, a bit of wind at their backs, Alberta, or will they be looking to run the ball and spread it wide on these beautiful pitches here at Calgary Rugby Park?
Like Mayday will start to try to kick as far as he can this ball away from the try line. That'll be making sense. Got a good stable scrum here. Totally control of the base there. Back big rim. I know they decided to run in to find some space wide there. Good decision. They've got an overlap.
Luke Grandy again with a show and go. Good hands, but this one low pass. What a great start to the match from Alberta, showing their intent, running from their own side of the field. And I believe we're having some trouble with the numbers up here, but I think it was Luke Grandy who came in with that show and go. Good wide pass from his insides, and on 2 occasions he broke the line. So Alberta showing they're ready to play, even though they have a pretty stiff wind flow. It's right to left on your screens at their backs. Referee will reset the scrum. Good luck at Jason Gilbert there. Put in for Newfoundland. Solid platform there. Of course, only 1 meter push in the age grade rules. Referee will ask Alberta to stop pushing there. And the ball's been stolen. Good pressure from the Alberta scrum half. That's Zach Pilgrim. Wide to go again. This man's got pace. He was talked about before the match. That's Donovan Sladek.
And there again in support, O'Neill making that ball live again. A good carry there by Nathan Ame. They recovered well. Trying to transform the game. All the backs in position, ready to play. Pilgrim again, O'Neill again, making the yard in front. Couple of yards, a good carry there.
Alberta 2 meters short. They've swung it wide. Again, there's numbers out wide. Can they put it through their hands? They don't need to. He's rode the tackle. And that is Ethan Blankthorne.
Yeah, that was a great work by the Alberta players, especially the forward. Just an enchainment of just pick and go carry. Strong carry from them, just clearing and sucking in all the defense. And Pilgrim just had to open that ball for his back players. And Ethan Blackson taking a chance in a half gaff open in front of him.
Yeah, those opportunities only come when the work's been done inside, as you say, Flo. The big Alberta forwards rumbling close to the line, sucking in that Newfoundland defense, and that provided the opportunity. Coach Simon Blanks of Newfoundland will have a strong word. You want those first up tackles to be a bit stronger.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's Newfoundland's going to come up back. You know, do we go long on the kickoff, or do we go straight to the forwards to see it settle a bit? You know, the decision at the moment, we've got to get into that. They've got to get into the game. They've got to start, you know, putting their weight.
And there's Elliot Johnson with the left foot, a good strike, but he's just pulled it across the front. So only the 5 points for the try. 5-0 Alberta over Newfoundland. Just from here, Flo, it looks like the Alberta players are just a little bit bigger. Newfoundland have some big boys up front, but in terms of size advantage, we don't have our usual stats up here, but I think you'd have to say Alberta have a distinct advantage there. Once again, it's Pilgrim to kick off. Just gone off the side of his boot, but I think it's going to go 10. There he is, so he's okay, and it will be play-on situation. Good counter ruck from Newfoundland. It looks like they may have won it. They have got their hands on the ball. Good driving there. Back to Pilgrim. He chooses to go to the short side. Lots of black defenders waiting for him. And this time it's Alberta counter-rucking, driven right through the middle, all legal at the ruck. And now it's Alberta to attack. Scrum half wants to go to the short side. He gets some help over there, and another big run from the second row. That's Justin Murphy. And they've broken through.
Yeah, and you talk about that player on the wing, you know. Donovan Zatlek again make that big break on the right hand side. Well opened initially by the Nathan. And there again they committed all the players. There is space out wide. The 10 decided, and it's going to show and go for himself by Blake Monday.
Almost a carbon copy flow of the last try. It was the big forwards after a break from Sladek. The big forwards got right up close to the line, and then they decided to go wide, but this time kept it. First receiver Made rode a couple of tackles and got over the line. So early dominance here from Alberta. The Newfoundland boys will only have themselves to blame, as they did have possession. They had their own steal deep in Alberta territory. The technique at the ruck, they just got blown off the ball. It is worth mentioning, both these teams haven't played a lot of rugby. For Alberta, this is their real first formal fixture. They had one inter-squad game, and although Newfoundland have been doing lots of work watching film and trying to get together and have training sessions, they really haven't played a great deal. And they're very young side too, Flo. 75% of this team is under 15 still, so some of the tackles we're seeing missed and some of the mistakes, the basic mistakes from Newfoundland, may be a result of that. A little bit of shock factor for these younger players. Yeah,
I mean, definitely. I think you know, those guys just are there to learn, and I think they will do that today. There's no doubt that. But I think it's part of the the process and the maturity. But I think they've got to keep going and give a good heart into what they're doing, and try to come up with their own solution to the black problem they've got in front of them.
Yes, that's the great thing about the game. There's lots of ways to get it done, as the rock sides have proven over the years. I mean, national champions themselves at senior levels, so there's a lot of potential in this team. But they're going to have to start tackling big men like this, as James O'Neill breaks 3 more tackles. Stolen ball. You hear the coaches yelling support. There's no one with him, and he's getting tied up, surrounded by black jerseys. Finally, the cavalry arrives. Now it'll go wide. There is an overlap, but snuffed out by the Alberta defense. Again, a good quick ruck out wide. Nice step there from the base. This time, Newfoundland able to put some phases together. The wide ball was on, but it was taken back in by Thomas Hickman. And that's Aiden Brown with a show and go. He gets clothesline, taken down. Solid defense from Alberta at the moment. Another good step from the fly half. And another good tackle from Alberta. This is 6th phase possession for Newfoundland. Although they're going backwards, it's a little bit sloppy. Referee's got his arm up for advantage. Yeah, and it's offside at the breakdown, coming in the side of the tackle.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're doing well. They're doing well to keep that ball, Newfoundland there, but they've got to start to look at option a bit wider. I think at the moment they're putting a lot of resources in a close game, and they're not finding any solution there and get tackled back.
Well, good to see Newfoundland running the ball. They're playing against this wind, as we noted. And a small knock on there, J.C. Gilbert just spotting that. So despite the intent from Newfoundland, nothing comes of it. Pretty frantic at the moment. Of course, these teams playing 30-minute halves at this age grade, under 16.
It's a much better commitment from the Newfoundland player there from the start of the game. They're starting to carry that ball to the opposition and trying to tidy up a bit the defense and trying to open some space out wide. But they've got to use that space now.
Yeah, and Alberta do have a wide line out. You got the tight shot on your screens, but they're really right across the field, this Alberta back division. There's the possession. Well, show and go again from Grady. Good realignment. There's numbers waiting for it from Alberta, and there they come around the corner. 5 passes, and finally the break comes again. That man, Donovan Sladek, well, he benefits for his 3rd big run of the day, but it was wonderful organization from Alberta. Flo, as they hit up midfield with their center, they immediately organized. All the forwards dropped off on the short side, and the Newfoundland defense was found wanting out there.
Yeah, it was definitely an organized move there. They knew that they're going to hit that field wide in the midfield with a quick recycle ball coming back in the blind side for the forwards, and obviously in the middle of that forward is that electric winger Slidek coming through. A couple of nice steps inside, cut the defense, and find himself to run the last 20 yards by himself.
Well, one of the great things about this national championship / festival is players like Sladek can get recognized. That there's national coaches all over the place here, all looking at the next potential hero for Canada to put on that Canadian jersey. And he's made a pretty good statement early on with his runs. And the fullback adds the extra 2 as well. So Johnson adds the conversion. Well, let's get one is the cheer from the Newfoundland supporters here, and that's exactly what they need, Flo. They need to get back into this game.
And they need to make the first up tackle as soon as they get contact with the ball and the carrier they've got. But unfortunately, that's another break there by Noah McDonald. They've got to try to work harder in that defense in Newfoundland, make sure that they put man and ball on the floor, not giving them that half pace and half chance to go further.
Well, Noah McGrady definitely backs himself. Sorry, McDonough, he himself has had a few breaks. He's shown that he can dummy and go, but let's now the next phase is to see if he can distribute that ball and then support his pass.
Yeah, he had a couple of opportunities where he could have done that earlier in the game. Just making sure that, it's not all about, taking the ball for yourself and in that space. Sometimes it's just making that dummy run and liberate the ball for the guys on the outside.
Well, a big shove from Alberta put Brown, the number 8, on the back foot. This time they do get the ball out. Good stepping here, but nowhere to run. Alberta engulfing the ball carrier yet again.
A great turnover by James O'Neill again there, coming right legally through the ruck, and he's been turned around again, and this time Newfoundland's taking their chances well outside wide.
Referee's going to bring it all the way back, though there's a penalty at the breakdown, so he was giving advantage to Newfoundland. Good refereeing there from Gilbert. The Alberta player was holding on to the ball even though they were off their feet, so it'll give Newfoundland a chance to regroup. They'll gain a little bit of territory, not much though against this wind, and they will have the line out at the throw-in. So good defense there from Newfoundland. They shorted up a little bit. Flo, yourself back row forward, you got to be pretty impressed with this youngster James O'Neill from Alberta. He's been everywhere in attack and in defense.
Yeah, he has shown some real talent in terms of controlling the ball on the floor, but also when he was in position to be the link, he has shown that he could carry the ball and go forward. I like to see him a bit more like hands on the ball and maybe distribute around him a little more.
Well, a great take from Newfoundland. Brady Walsh up high, well lifted. As the attack comes in, the players held up. Yeah, and it was a little bit too long. He was off the ground, couldn't get to a ruck position where the ball would be on the ground. So the referee's saying Newfoundland held up. Ball will go to Alberta at the scrum.
Yeah, in a tight position like that, like they are Newfoundland, they're going against bigger guys, stronger guys probably. They've got to hit the deck really, really quickly, get a chance to the support to clear that ball so they can still recycle that ball. Going in a one-on-one confrontation could become of an issue for them.
Oh, referee's not happy there. He's actually free kicked Newfoundland. They're not quite sure what he's called, so hopefully he takes some time to explain what's going on. Alberta have chosen to re-scrummage. This is a good opportunity for Gilbert to do some education, just let the players know what his expectations are. He wants those Newfoundland players ready to engage on his command. Of course, safety is the paramount in rugby these days. These scrums are all very drilled and calculated, and the referee's in total control. So he backs out, and when he's happy, you can put that ball in. Again, Alberta going wide. A hint of a forward pass. The referee says play on. Look who's on the end here. Uh-oh. If you're Newfoundland. He does offload. I'm not quite sure of the number there. I think it was the fullback, Elliot Johnson, who got it back again after giving the initial pass, and he reached out for that line.
But very, very well constructed try. Just simple hands, bringing the ball to the winger. A good acceleration there by Slidex. Stepping aside when he gets caught. A good support inside shoulder by the fullback. He had to be a stretch to score the try, but it was well done.
So Flo, yourself, we've got all our best that Canada has to offer in terms of youth here. Yourself, a former professional player and professional coach. Why are the basic skills so important? Why is handling something that we really need to be stressing at this age grade?
I mean, it's very simple. When you play the game at the high hand, you exhaust yourself physically, and as a result of that, your brain kind of like oxygen, if I can picture it that way. So if you don't control the skill to the extreme, the basic skills to the extreme, you tend to lose those skills. The reason people ask you to be mastering those is that becomes second nature, and that's becoming ingrained in your body. So even when your brain doesn't function, those skills are still there, and you're not making any mistake or missing the pass or the tackle when it's the most important in the game.
And it is so costly, isn't it? One of the reasons Newfoundland have been on their own line is they have had knock-ons, they've had poor passes, and it just puts pressure on your teammates, and you can't sustain it, especially a side that's organized like Alberta are here.
Yeah, and to finish, I mean, even at the top level, today players will rehearse those skills every time they can, and they will spend time to work on their passing, to work on their tackling. The part of the game which is about the strategic and the tactical is probably not that important in comparison to what the skills have to be.
Yeah, that's one of the big messages here this week, as all the teams are working with the national coaches who are here. Mike Shelley, the national under-20 coach, Jim Delaney on the men's side. The women's coaches are here, and they're doing some women's fitness testing as well. So, those are the messages coming out. You've got to be able to catch and pass to play this game and make your tackles. As we've done there, a great cover tackle from the Newfoundland fly half, which caused the turnover. Chance here for Alex Budgeon. Good support. Much better clean out there, and the blind side is on. There's an option. Brown has it in his hands. He shows and then gives it to the paceman on the outside, but he's just reeled in a foot in touch. So good ambition. That was Robert Guard on the wing. Couldn't quite get around the end, set up by Brown inside him.
Yeah, good decision by Brown there. The Alberta players was actually not committed to him. He decided to keep the ball, make an extra yard, get strong on the ball, and to offload to the man on the outside. Unfortunately, the cover was really good by the Alberta players.
Good pressure off the back from Newfoundland 7. Alberta in control again. A good tackle. Well, a fine fly half tackling performance here from Newfoundland's. Should get the number right here. Is it Lovato? Outstanding work from him. Flo reminds me when I used to have to play fly half outside you. Lots of tackles to make in the fly half jersey.
Definitely. And the one you push inside your shoulder, so that was the easiest one for me to make.
It's such a big part of the modern game to make those tackles. No one's shying off those tackles.
You cannot. But no, it was a good piece of work there. I think there was a good defense by the fly half, but before that there was that ruck where actually Newfoundlands came up and put a bit of pressure, and as a result they got a knock-on. I think there is a water break here.
Maybe a bit of an injury for.
Oh, an injury. Sorry, I couldn't see that.
Winger. That might be Mac Frost. I had his name wrong when he got put away. He may have done an ankle in that. Let's see. Yeah, and it looks like it is Frost has come off the field, so the replacement has gone on. Gabriel Casey for Newfoundland. Wonder if he'll go straight. He's gone straight into the wing position. So we'll have a big blind side to defend here at the bottom of your screen. And Alberta's Robert Gord will be opposite him. Newfoundland ball. Midfield scrum. Great attacking opportunity. Lots of space either side of that scrum. But it's gone against the head, and Newfoundland have stolen the ball at that scrum. Pretty rare. And hit the line, and there is Dunna again spinning out. Oh, good break. Well recognized from the prop. That's Cameron Seaman. Poor pass there has put Alberta behind the gain line, and well tackled yet again by the fly half. And a good counter ruck, and the referee's got his hands out. So a bit of inspiration there. We talked about Lovato stepping up in defense. His teammate got behind him and they stole the ball, and Alberta were penalized for not rolling away. Brown again.
Definitely Brendan Mangold came from the side, and Brown again there trying to find the support, get strong on the ball, support, recycling the ball. The ball is still live there. They've got to convert it, find the support. And here, ball to the forwards. Good work there by the prop. Sam Keller, stay in field, keeping the ball live.
And that ball's held up at the tackle. And actually it's been turned over. So the jersey pull is not enough to stop the big man. Great feet from him. And that's Brandon Mangold showing athleticism there. And passion, good for him. He stole the ball. He was pushing a touch, but showed he can get it done. It will be a Newfoundland throw-in. So Brown showing an inspiration. The first real bit we've seen from Newfoundland to get in behind the Alberta defense. Wasn't able to get the final pass off, but a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel here, as the score is currently 24-0, sorry, for Alberta.
And here the first option, first hand attack from Newfoundland. They're still making the yard, and then at fullback still Alex Benjamin still making good yards.
We got some kind of a call off the ball. I don't know what it is, possibly. Gilbert's kind of lost control here. The play was in a huge advantage for Newfoundland. Now he's come back for some kind of offside call in the lineout, which there's no reason to blow it up with Newfoundland in their best attacking move of the day.
Yeah, that was a great attack. First hands attack, going for the touch there. Good kick, and they've got an opportunity there of that line out.
As good a kick as that was, Flo, I just can't think tactically that's very good for Newfoundland. They haven't been able to do much off set piece. They finally were into some open play running. But well, we'll see that one on the film, I guess. There must have been some offside penalty at the lineout. As it is, Newfoundland hooker, new hook to throw in. He hits the front. Brown keeps it alive for a second, but then it goes out of bounds. And Brown's taking a shot there as he went into touch. He's been their main lineout option at 1. And the referee's called time off there, so these athletes will be able to get some water. Flo, not quite as hot as we thought it might be, and I know you've been working with the Quebec athletes. What's your impression of Calgary Rugby Park so far?
Well, so far it's been very good. I've been here since this morning. Watched a couple of the ladies' game this morning. Was good to see our girls fighting well, not winning but fighting well. We've got at 3 o'clock for Quebec the 3 team playing at the same time. So it is an opportunity for us to put in place and to make sure that those athletes will work with us all year round, get a chance and a shot at it. But about all the organisation around the park has been phenomenal. I think it's all smooth, and players and the organisation just should be happy to find such an environment to play rugby.
Well, we need competition right across this country, and it wouldn't be able to happen without the support of many of our partners with Rugby Canada. See DHL there, the national team sponsor, and our logistics sponsor, Cowlings, legal support, hugely important. The national government there through Own the Podium support our athletes, especially our sevens athletes who are just come off, the men have come off the Commonwealth Games, but our men's and women's athletes looking to go to Rio through the Own the Podium program. And our newest sponsor, Under Armour, great performance wear with a real edge to it, which I know the athletes, both male and female, love wearing. Also CN, such a big part of this part of the world. I just drove through Rogers Pass and there were trains flying around all over the place, but they help with a lot of safety and coaching. We have Enterprise supporter, and Merit Travel our travel sponsors, and you can't imagine the amount of travel that goes on in this organization, and Marsh, our insurers. So without all these people, Canada couldn't get it done. Scrum Master, old Kevin Lurachowski, provides equipment for our elite athletes to train on. Helijet and Shawnee Lake School, based in on the island there, as well as the Woodchuck Gardens, hugely supportive of our National Center of Excellence out there in Langford. And of course the City of Langford, huge supporters of all that Rugby Canada does. Where a lot of these athletes flow are hoping to end up as now provincial rep athletes. They want to become national rep athletes and ultimately play for the national team in World Cups and Olympics, and that's kind of what this pathway is all about. It will be a Newfoundland line out. Brown's still down on the sideline getting some treatment, so the game will go on. And good possession from Newfoundland. They got it, they're mauling. This is traditional stuff from Coach Blanks. Good yardage there, and now they'll go wide. The ball's back inside to Lovato. Nowhere for him to run, and a little bit of crossing, but the referee's going to come all the way back to a penalty at the initial drive for Newfoundland. So positive play from them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that great line out. They just managed to get the go forwards. That movement forwards will make things so much easier when you play rugby. And below that, there was a bit of a confusion at between 10 and 12 in the center. I think they were looking to loop around and maybe play wider, and I don't think they managed to execute that. But thankfully, they had that penalty there.
Well, if the last line was anything to go by, Flo, Newfoundland weren't able to stop that drive. Alberta weren't able to stop that drive for 5 meters. If they could execute that here, that would be a try. They'd be over the line. And it's signs of some of Dr. Parfrey's great sides with the likes of Rod Snow in there. Can they emulate that big power up front?
Yeah, we all remember all the Rob Saw power.
There's the catch.
There's the catch. Good organization there. Everybody tied up around the ball. They get to be a bit lower to manage, and they recovered that. They're a bit lower. They keep going forward. That's a good drive going forward.
Can they get down? They're over the line.
They are.
Oh, the counter drive from Alberta. Who's got the ball? There it is. It's picked up again. Now it's a ruck. Just 2 meters from the line. Newfoundland pressuring for their first score of the day. There's bodies all over the place, and Alberta have stolen it, and they'll have the chance to kick it clear, as they do, all the way back to the halfway line. The substitutes on the ball. One quick pass. Good step from the fullback. And that one, not so good. So Alberta have stolen it. And O'Neill looks for the quick line out, not to be. So could that be the massive turning point in the game? Newfoundland showing what they're good at. A great initial drive. Although technically, Flo, as a coach, you might say they wanted to get those shoulders a little bit lower, a little bit square.
Yeah, I think if they've managed to reset that and get a bit lower. But if they have managed to do that right from the beginning, at the moment of the ball is brought down, they would have got that initiative of the maul, and then would have probably made that half a yard which they needed to go actually ground the ball.
Yeah, great shame for Newfoundland, because had they scored there, just a couple of minutes left in this first half, they would have turned, although a few scores down, but with a massive wind at their back. Good ball from Alberta. Good pressure again from the Newfoundland defense. Good line speed from them. Ooh, Newfoundland player up the side and guilty of being offside, but the referee's playing advantage. Yeah, penalty against Newfoundland coming up the side of the ruck. Alberta choosing to settle things down, and we have 27.5 minutes played of this 30-minute first half. And that's smart by the kicker. He's just looked to his left side where the wind will help him get this to touch. Beautiful left-footed strike from him. And he's got his team downfield. And you can see from the touch judge's flag there, that is the wind that Newfoundland will be turning with at their backs.
That's a great opportunity for them to launch an attack from that line out. I can see that all the back line is just discussing what they're going to do. It looks like they're going to probably stretch that ball a bit wide, try to find that electric wing.
Oh, and the fullback for Newfoundland is down, so referee's called time off again. Some sort of an issue with the boot or the heel. I have no problem with this with referee J.C. Gilbert, just allowing the player at this age to be comfortable, make sure everything's all right. Although in the pro game we may not see it stop for this kind of instance. This isn't the pro game, and it's important that we all remember that. It's about young athletes trying to get better at a great game that is very inclusive. All sorts of body types, you see them out there, and that is one of the great things about rugby, and it's on perfect display here in Calgary. The game is bigger than all of us, Flo.
Yeah, the game is bigger than all of us. We just got to, for those young athletes, take a lot of experience from playing and having this opportunity to play rugby.
Again, they go behind the centers. A little bit static, but they have the danger man on the outside and the fullback. This time, maybe one too many moves.
There was a super offload there by the fullback and one hand, a Sonny B. Williams style. But maybe
against Newfoundland.
Maybe he carried that ball a little bit too far. He should have found maybe Sladek on the outside.
Refereeing mistake there. He's actually allowed him. He's awarded a penalty. He's allowed him to tap and go, but the mark was not back at 5 meters. So the try has been given, I think, to our man, Flo, James O'Neill, who was Johnny on the spot for Alberta. So will be a try.
It is a try. It's a good conclusion of that good move, good organization. There was a good line out, good midfield work with a couple of dummy run, with the fullback and the blindside winger passing behind, finding the fullback. Elliot Johnson making the yard there.
Maybe guilty of a few too many steps.
Yeah, maybe a bit guilty because there was probably only zero option, but as a result, they make the yards and still get that penalty and rewarded with a try from O'Neill.
So as we wind down the second and the first half, it will give Johnson, the left footer, a great opportunity to stick it through. He's a natural striker of the ball, just off to the left of your shot. He's trying to add 2 more. And he's pulled this one, but it's a convincing 29-0 lead at the half as referee Gilbert blows for it, and Newfoundland will have to regroup. Alberta clearly in control here in Calgary. We'll be back for the second half. live, Doug? And welcome back to Calgary Rugby Park here at the Rugby Canada National Festival. I'm joined by Florent Rosenieu from London, who's out here with the Quebec team. Quebec have got a big afternoon after this, Flo, with all three of your teams in action. But right now, it's Alberta to kick off in the black jerseys against Newfoundland, and it's been all Alberta on the scoreboard. Although Newfoundland showed a bit of spark in the last couple of minutes there.
Yeah, a couple of times they showed that they could compete, and they kind of put their heart into it. I mean, there is definitely a young age group in that Newfoundland team, but they seem to find a solution by themselves, and they've got to keep going at it, and just I'm sure reward will come for them in that second half.
Yeah, it is worth noting this Newfoundland team have done well to come together under Simon Blanks, but are very young. 3/4 of the team could be playing in under 15 category if there was one in this tournament, but there isn't. It's under 16 boys with a huge high hanging kick from Alberta and an excellent take from Josh Blanks. Well, Newfoundland starting the second half as they start, and the big break from Kaler. He's been back. That's a huge 40-meter run for him. Finally brought down 30 meters out. Now they need quick ball, Newfoundland, and there comes the runner. He doesn't get it to go to hand, but it goes backwards. That would have been interesting, Flo.
Yeah, he was coming at pace. If he could have get that ball straight in hand, I think he would have got a chance to go through. There was a half gap in front of him.
Lovato with the step. He's been the best player for Newfoundland in this first half. And there's the substitute come on the field at scrum half. He looked to go on the blind. Again, Newfoundland rumbling quite well here. Again, a show and go from the scrum half, a half break. And that is Jordan Thagard.
And a good decision there, just trying to keep that defense tight rather than going straight away to the hands wide. Again there, a ball back in, carry ball inside, but it's been turned over, I think, by Alberta.
Yeah, good steal. He was on his feet at the tackle, at the breakdown, and now it is Alberta with numbers and pace. Well, the white boots have been flashing the whole first half. Maybe it was one too many. But Johnson finally brought down near the sideline. Alberta attacking close to the ruck now. This time a wide looping pass, but it still hits it forward. That is Nazan Ami. Better pass this time from the scrum half. And the inside ball gets it done, slicing through the defense. And look at that run with the two handoffs from the man, James O'Neill. A beautiful try from him, an individual run.
Yeah, that was a great run from him with the ball support inside of the backs runner. He just had a lot of work to do to beat the players on the outside, but he paced out and managed to counter the last defenders. But it was a great run, great support from the inside, great ball on the inside, and a great finish by James O'Neill.
And give credit to his fly half there after receiving a good wide pass. That's what caused the problems for Newfoundland. Blake Madej was able to turn the ball back inside after he sucked the Newfoundland defender wide, and that was the gap that Elliott ran into. So good basic attacking rugby there, and a great start for Alberta.
Good sense of the ball there by James O'Neill as well. I think, coming and running that 9 inside the 10 at that angle, that 45-degree angle, which is very difficult for defense to read. If you run straight, they come straight at you, and they're going to stop you. If you run that 40 to 45 degrees angle on a gap like that, you got all the chance to break the tackle and carry on further.
So Newfoundland, despite some positive play, not able to get on the scoreboard. They have brought a few substitutes on, which is good to see. As I said, the scrum half is on there. Thagard's to his mates, and a few other fresh legs. Of course, Brown was carried off in the first half, and I think this may be Porter, another substitute with a good kickoff. Is it too long? No, he's landed it perfectly in field. So with a win at his back, he gains 20 yards for the Newfoundland team, but it will be Alberta put in.
Yeah, and I think Newfoundland needs to use that wind they've got behind them. Try to maybe play a bit more in that opposition territory, kicking behind the black line of defense, and try to maybe get them to turn. I'm sure man for man they can pace them.
Again, it's the one ball. It's been so successful for Alberta. Good line of running from Noah again. And he gets offload this time to keep the movement going. Great support from Alberta forwards. And there's the pod, the second pod lined up again. This is textbook stuff from Alberta's forwards. Although it's lost at the final stride. Referee says there was hands in the ruck, although it may have been knocked on before that.
Yeah, I believe so. I thought the ball was knocked on first. He should have been a scrum there. But in the heart of the action, I think the ref can't see everything. It does happen.
It does. And that was...
You saw that
Ryland
one.
Gaw just knocked that one on, the substitute on the field. So he's come on, I think, at fullback. And so Ryland not able to hold on to that one. But again, Alberta showing their danger out wide. You got to say, Flo, the back three for Alberta have been outstanding and really dangerous.
Yeah, they definitely put some pace on the ball. Every time they've got a chance, they run at straight line. They've got that ability to beat defender with just good footworks, and they've been using all of that. But you know, I think it doesn't mean they've got to play everything on them. I think we've got to keep the Newfoundland's got to keep that ball. And once again, it's been turned against the head.
Against the head, meaning Newfoundland had to put in, but Alberta won the ball. So that really should never happen at this level. But mistake there. There's Ryland holding on to this one. And unfortunately, he was exposed. The support didn't arrive quickly enough. So he's been penalized for holding on to that ball.
Yeah, that show and go kind of decision. Isolate him amongst a couple of Newfoundland players, and with no support, he actually committed that infringement.
And it looks like Boyd Porter's been called in again. Maybe he's having a shot at goal. This is great to see. Get on the board. They're calling for the tee, so over the halfway line. I think I'm going to get this confirmed, but I think it is Angus Boyd Porter. He's been brought on in the second half, and he's going to have a shot from 52 meters with, as we've been saying, the wind at their back. If we can get a shot of a flag somewhere here, you can see how powerful the wind is. And there it is. It's gusting, and we're on the prairies here in Calgary. So, well, it's just good to see. Just good entertainment flow.
Exactly. I mean, why not? You know,
Yeah,
I think you've got to take every ambition in the game. You've got to make sure you're ready for.
Okay, he's lined it up. It's a bit of an awkward posting of the ball. He's going to take a good sprint at it. He's hammered it. It's going to be a little bit short, I think, but he's got into it, and good to see them having a go trying to get on the scoreboard, break this goose egg. But it will be Alberta in attack again. Good tackle. Good cover field tackle all the way across there. May have paid the price on his shoulder, but outstanding. I'm struggling to get the number flow, but
Yeah,
textbook stuff.
But that was a great decision there to stick with his winger rather than commit inside. He stuck to him as soon as the ball reached the ball of an Alberta winger. It just got stuck into him, and Alberta there doing 3 changes at once, bringing some fresh leg on the pitch.
Good touch judging over there. Assistant referee has spotted there's an injury, and the shoulder is bad after that crushing tackle. And the time will come off here for the referee. As we see the Under Armour logo in the background, I will. And that is what we're hoping to see from our national teams wearing their product. Our national women's team at the World Cup with a resounding win this morning over Samoa, which was great news, and they got a bonus point. And well done to Francois Ratier and Megan Howitt and the whole team out there. And unfortunately, the upset of that tournament, and I guess turn away if you don't want to hear this, but in the women's tournament there was a huge upset. Ireland beating New Zealand's Black Ferns for the first time ever, and a massive upset, which will now mean that Canada probably to go through will have to beat England, something we haven't done for some years now. So huge action on the women's front, and we'll see what happens. But back to the action here, under 16 boys, Newfoundland versus Alberta. Newfoundland in the maroon jerseys.
Yeah, and going from a line out drive to another line out because they were pushing to the touch line. It'll be an input for Alberta, a throw in that line out. And against the wind, there's not many options they can do, I suppose, is just control the ball, which they didn't. We give a good chance there for Newfoundland to go forward, but there the referee stopped. It was a knock-on the first action of the line out.
One of the other aspects about this tournament, there's lots of action going on. We've got the coaches spying on each other. The BC coaches are spying on these games. You've got Ontario and New Brunswick out here. New Brunswick put a tough fight this morning. Actually, the score didn't do them justice, but they lost by 80 points. But some real bright sparks in that New Brunswick team as well as the BC team. It's going well. So lots of good old rivalries being restored here.
Yeah, and even in the first 10 minutes of the second half, you can see the Newfoundlands. I don't think any tried it so far.
Yeah.
And show some good defensive spirit. And I think that's why it's
going to be
important.
the problem. Tackling like that up high and not completing the tackle will not stop men like Mr. O'Neill. Good hands here. This time, Johnson is wrapped up. Again, good ruck support from the Alberta players. And this is the second pod. See those forwards jerseys in there? O'Neill knocks this one on. O'Neill reminds me in that black jersey kind of a Josh Kronfeld kind of gritty kind of gets a lot done kind of guy.
He did actually. I remember when he ran that for that try earlier. I could remember that shoulder forward that Josh Kronfeld used to have when he used to run, for the All Blacks back in the days.
Maybe more of a Danny Baugh who comes from this part of the world, who's now working with the Welsh team, strong and powerful base. And currently Kyle Gilmore from the region here in the national squad, getting a few runs. So he'll be involved in the Wolfpack team that plays here against BC. And all the athletes here will get to see that as part of the Canadian Rugby Championship, the Senior Men's Championship. That ball's popped out the side, but the referee's going to say it was knocked on by Black, so we'll scrum it again. Yeah, it's nice for these athletes to see the senior players and things that they're trying to emulate when they get out and play their provincial games.
Well, I think there is everything to see here. I think the players got a chance to compete, but they've also a chance to be alongside a lot of Rugby Canada ex-athlete, current athlete.
A lot of us.
And also, can get a bit of a support from the technician they've got around the park from Rugby Canada or different province. And I think it's important that people exchange. As more they exchange, the more the progress will happen.
Yeah, and on these jerseys for the Newfoundlanders is the rock, the same thing that the CRC team wore when they won the national championship out in Newfoundland. So there's a good pathway to establish in that province for these athletes. Right, but it is held up again, taken in by Newfoundland, held up. So pretty stagnant couple of minutes here, scrum, and now another scrum.
It seems that the level of performance from Alberta has just dropped a little bit now. They kind of let things happen rather than controlling them.
Yeah, I think a bit of cohesion's gone. A few subs on the field, as you see from the number changes. A little bit of that cohesion's gone that was so impressive in the first half. There's the early push. The referee's arm goes out against Alberta. The black jerseys pushed before he said it was okay to push. So that's part of the safety rules and regs that are in place. So it's a free kick. And Alberta will run it as a result. They may want to try and use this wind a little bit. But no, Lovato's going to go. He's isolated. The players need to get there. That's probably been a feature of Alberta's game, which has made a big difference. Their immediate support of the ball carrier, whereas Newfoundland have not quite done the same. And that's a bit of a wayward kick from Leggers. And Alberta have it back, and it's quickly moved out to Newfoundland. Offload out of the tackle. There's numbers to the top of your screen if they can get it away, but once again, it's been turned over. And probably the last man on the field Newfoundland wanted to go to. This time he's choosing the chip and chase. Johnson off his left foot, puts it in behind. And he pressures, and he does his job. I think with only a meter to go and possession, Oh, I thought Alberta were going to score, but it wasn't to be. But great individual play from the Alberta fullback.
Yeah, I think the referee, the linesman, the touch referee has actually called for
official.
something, maybe a knock-on or maybe a high tackle there. I think there'll be a knock-on. That's a knock-on called by the referee. So it'll be a scrum 5 meters.
Well, 14 minutes gone in the second half. It's all Alberta, 36-0. Of course, the week goes on with these teams playing a game a day with Friday off and then a finals day on Sunday. They'll get seeded in this under-16 tournament as to where they sit. So great stuff and lots of challenges ahead for both these teams. I think BC are here with 2 teams and Ontario also here with 2 teams. Good to see that kind of depth. And there's a bit of a blood over there. Another regulation that's come into rugby is any kind of blood on the field. You're allowed to make a 10-minute blood substitution until that player is patched up, or maybe it's just a band-aid, but just so there's no spread of unnecessary spread of blood.
And then Zach Pilgrim coming back on the pitch for covering this blood substitution. He's having the ball on the introduction for the scrum.
All right, back to the action. Big scrum. Referee Gilbert sets them, engages them. Scrum half Pilgrim to put it in. Alberta win the strike. They're lining up to run it in 22 meters out. Simple hands. Missed tackles from Newfoundland.
Yeah, missed tackle from Newfoundland, but they found the forwards again, and then a quick ruck for the ball. And who is there near the line? James O'Neill. Is he being held up? No, he's getting the try. He's managed to ground the ball. Second try for James O'Neill in the game. That was a good work by the forward there. Gecko a bit short with not much space, but shows some great strength to ground the ball. Show how important that first up tackle is. You know, if you can't kill the ball and hand at the same time when you're close to your line, you don't get a chance to get that momentum forward. And Newfoundland on that one is guilty of maybe not stopping James O'Neill at the source and let him to actually use his strengths and his power and get him in a good position to do so.
Well, as Johnson lines up the easy conversion in front of the posts, I get the impression he's not the first one to miss James O'Neill, a big, powerful man. I think we might hear a bit more from this guy under 16 level here. He's got all the tools and all the shape and looks like a great work ethic too.
He has a great work ethic. From the start of that game, has been in almost a lot of the actions happening on the pitch. He was is ever present as a linkman, as a hard-working man, as a tackler, as a defender. He's done a great job in that first 45-50 minutes now.
Well, with this result pretty much in the bag for Alberta, it does give Newfoundland a chance to bring on a few players and give them an opportunity to run here at National Festival. And Luke Grandy has gone off for that shoulder injury, a crushing tackle from him. But hopefully he's all right. Knock on there from Alberta.
Yeah, of the kick up, nobody would control that ball, not making it easy for the winger coming forward there. That ball rolling on the floor. Maybe a foot will have surfaced to control it. But as a result, it's a scrum for Newfoundland, 20 meters out.
Here at Calgary Rugby Park, of course, this was the site a few years ago of the New Zealand Maori versus Canada. Big crowd here, I know over 8,000, and they really would love to see a test match back here. And a men's 15s game, we'll see if that ever happens. Right now, BMO Field is the home, Canada, but these kind of games where the next generation is coming from. So let's see if they maybe get back to Calgary Rugby Park in a different colored red jersey. Yeah, there's some concern. Just with a few subs in the field, they want to make sure the blood sub is coming back on the field and Pilgrim will leave. So nothing serious. He's getting greeted by his flanker there. He's patched up and ready to go. So, put in for Newfoundland. This time a clean strike. Quick pick from the 8. A little bit of disorganization, but they do get it back. Newfoundland players just standing up, not quite hitting that when they need to get momentum on that. And it is a maul at the moment. There it goes. It's down into a ruck. The ball's on the ground. Both players have to release. And the therapist was on the field. Good work from him and good work from the referee. As it looked like earlier in a sequence, I think that's our substitute scrum half, had taken a shot. And the therapist was immediately on the field and indicated, and the referee stopped it. So that was great play. Good to see the player's safety at the forefront there.
Yeah, safe option is always the better one from the referee.
Yeah.
I think on that moment, it was too close to the game, and he looks like
it's Jordan Thaggart, I think.
Yes, Jordan Tiger might not. Oh, it looks like he's recovering. Not sure.
He was tackled after he passed the ball. I don't think there was any malicious intent. The Alberta player was just finishing his check, really. So Thaggart's on his feet. That's good to see. But maybe that arm, the wrist doesn't look so good. So he's getting a nice round of applause from both sets of fans. A lot of parents here. Obviously more Albertan-based parents than Newfoundlanders. But those of you back in Newfoundland, let us know what you think of the broadcast. It's great to have you online here. Each team does get a minimum of one game on the main stadium here, so we're able to stream that to you live. Unfortunately, this result isn't going your way, but it is great for these athletes to be seen by the families and the clubs that give them so much support. So hello to everyone out there.
So get back to the action. There was a knock-on. There was an interruption by the referee in the actions, but the ball was in the hands of Alberta at the time, so the referee recalled a scrum with introduction for Alberta.
Will they continue to attack? And loping in behind the scrum, Elliot Johnson, the fullback. He's looking at the blind side where he sees there's only one defender, but the ball's gone the other way. Oh, they do come all the way back, and Johnson's outside that pass. And that one's pushed into touch, so a bit of disorganization. Good pressure, actually. A bit of cheating almost from Josh Blanks coming up the side and disrupting that scrum half pass.
Yeah.
That'll be happy with that. Playing on the edge of the lawn, something you knew about?
Yeah. I think that was a good play there. Put your hands with the trajectory of the ball to put it down. It's never a malintent. It's always a good decision. But I thought also that the passing was a bit short. He should have looked before. I think he was assuming that the next player was on his shoulder without really looking. If he have saw that, he would have probably turned his head. He would have seen the players was probably half a meter behind, and would have probably pushed that ball, so it would never occur. But
now it's back to the maul. A clean take, but Alberta players able to get in there, and look who it is. That man again, number 7, Elliott. And look at that, he gets back to his feet and then drives again at the ruck. So it'll be a Newfoundland put in. But good work from Elliott and the two substitute props. That's Makara and Petram, both working hard up front there to deny that Newfoundland maul. Newfoundland have gone to the front almost entirely all day, and Alberta haven't competed. A little bit of movement, yeah, no compete, but they're stopping the drive. That's what they're trying to do.
Once again, the intent is great on that driving maul, but the bodies are far too high there.
Oh, a little bit of a gap on the fringe, but he couldn't quite get around. See it from this angle, and the scrum half is tied in, so someone's going to have to step in. They've done that. There's the hands. There's a good straight running from Lovato, who's now in the second receiver position. Again, the ball sits there and needs to be moved away. Well, there's more black jerseys than maroon ones at the moment, and they've got their hands on it. And And now it's Alberta's turn to drive. And there's lots of space in behind. Good stepping from Selby. Goes all the way down just outside Newfoundland's 22. Scrum half directing traffic. They are queuing up to run this one in. Although the pass doesn't go to hand, it needs to go wide. Good decision there by the big man. There are still numbers, even despite all that poor execution. Well, Alberta doing their best to turn an overlap into an underlap. That's Owen Thurston.
And then again, they've got
the
numbers
well.
out wide there.
Yeah.
They've got to use them.
That's going Moulton. Good carry from him. A powerful hit up there from Selby again. Looping pass from the scrum half. A look inside, but out it goes. Good recognition to release the ball. Johnson's still got some work to do, and he gets ragged. Jersey grabbed and brought down. Great cover from Newfoundland to keep them out. There's Wainman. 5 meters out from Alberta. Still pressing. Still quick ball. There's a step off the right foot. Just enough from Taylor to run it in. A competent little step from him, eluding the Newfoundland tackler.
A good continuity work there. There was a good phase of play. Couple of rucks to suck the defense in. Then the ball went wide. Johnson couldn't make the yards to the hand, but a quick ruck. Another action on the left-hand side there with the forwards to set up against that defense, Newfoundland's defense, and open the space for the number 6 Taylors.
So 48 points up on the board. This conversion from Johnson, the left footer, will take it to 50, which will really indicate on the scoreboard flow a comprehensive show from Alberta. Newfoundland, perhaps their age, we talked about, they're a little bit younger, a lot of under 15 age in this team, and losing a couple of key players early on to injury, notably Brown, who was doing some good work. Just lost their shape a little bit, and they're falling off too many tackles.
They still make Alberta work hard for their trident, and I think, I like the competitive spirit there. The boys haven't gave up. They're still going forwards. They're still making sure that they're not going to fall without fighting.
Well, that's what Coach Blanks will want to see. The kick was good, so 50 goes on the board. Let's see if one of the Newfoundland players can step up and make an impact. The Rock, as we said, a proud tradition. They won't be happy with the scoreline. And you don't ever expect them to back down the Rock, and a chance for a big hit here. Oh, every intent. Good offloading from Albertan players. Great lateral support right in behind the ball. And this time it goes wide. So it's relatively textbook stuff. Running through the phases and the power running. That's a good tackle. Finally O'Neill is stopped. 2 meters short. Slower ball this time and a weak pass. Referee's blown his whistle. He's blown for a penalty, but unless they'd knocked it on, they were in possession, so I don't know what that was about. And this should be an easy run in. It is. The substitute gets there over the line, and that is Ryland Waugh. His first try of the game.
Yeah, that was a great try there. I don't think the referee needed to involve that penalty in the middle, because I think the overlap was already created by Alberta there. But I think James O'Neill, starting from that kickoff, carrying that ball for 20, 30 yards, and then a very good interactions, passing in between the players, are just make enough work for the Newfoundland defense to crack, and they were on the back foot from that minute one. They will regroup, and hopefully in the last 4 minutes of that game they will find a solution. Maybe it'll be nice to see them on the scoreboard.
A tough kick here. Far on against the wind. Good strike, but he's pulled it.
Last 3 minutes of that game. Last 3 minutes for Newfoundland. Chance to score or to get on the scoreboard. They've got to control the ball.
Important that Newfoundland make the tackle off this. Another short kick. Yeah, too many players falling off tackles. Finally brought down. Listen to the talk there, Flo. Great to hear young players organizing, reorganizing. The second pod for Alberta has done very well. This time Newfoundland penalized for coming in the side. Bizarre spiral kick, but he's got there.
Yeah, bizarre decision as well, but maybe the wind pushing it. Turn around a bit, the wind.
Well, the temperatures aren't outrageous here as we could expect, but it's still pretty warm out here. We're getting into the final 2 minutes of this 2 30-minute halves. This time the throw is not straight. Newfoundland will have the choice of a scrum or a line-out. That ball needs to go right down the middle. And interesting, they've chosen a line-out, which is not the usual option, but they must want to get that maul going again, Flo.
I suppose so. It's 60 yards, but 60, 70 yards out. I think that'll probably a very ambitious moment, but a good combination there between the hooker and the first the prop, but he's not controlling the ball. Yes, he is. The ball's coming out for the fly half. Kick ahead of them.
Interesting kick
behind
actually.
the defense.
The last 2 minutes they chose to use that wind. It's a good option, but it puts the ball in this man's hands. Who's been the other star. If we were picking 3 stars of the match, I think Elliot Johnson would have to be in there. He's been great in attack. There he showed good positioning, didn't panic, he used his left boot not only to clear the lines but also to kick conversions today. So he's been outstanding and one for the future as well. Newfoundland winning the line out, but again not quite efficient enough at that breakdown. Means they're going backwards as the ball is released. That one came out the back door. Ooh. Yeah. Hands have got in there, and then Alberta have stolen it somehow, Flo. I don't know how that was legal, but play on. There's no fullback at home. Newfoundland gonna have to deal with this. So often the case when you turn the ball over that your defense isn't in place, and it looks ominous for Newfoundland as they have possession. Alberta, yeah, just too much, too late.
And the other winger, Robert Ford from Alberta, get that try. Probably the last try of the game. But that was a good, good steal. Despite, I think the boys were the player was on his feet, put his hands over the ball and managed to steal it over. They spin it wide, and obviously, they had the results.
So for Newfoundland, it'll be a bit of regrouping. It'll be in the cold tubs and getting their bodies prepared, getting rehydrated. It is 23 degrees here, I've had confirmed by the weather department here at Rugby Canada TV. So they'll want to recover. They'll have more matches tomorrow, important matches in this under-16 category. But for Alberta, an outstanding start for a team that hadn't played a match before this time. So then get on the board with over 60 points in their first game. That's a point a minute, Flo. That's pretty impressive stuff from the Albertan boys.
Yeah, they show some good determination. They played it wide again. They moved the ball wide. They've got a couple of players. And here, the final whistle of the game.
So good job by the man in the middle, Mr. Gilbert. He blows for time. And all applaud the efforts here of both teams. The final score is 60 points for Alberta, 0 for Newfoundland. Thanks for joining us here. Let us know what you thought of the broadcast. We'll be back for the next match here on Field 1. which is at 3 p.m. BC 1 versus the Belle Province, Quebec.
Au
For
revoir.
Florent Rosigneau and Gareth Reese, thanks for joining us.
Au revoir.
Ciao.